So there's a show on Netflix called Starting Fives, and it features a whole bunch of players. And one of the players is LeBron James. And most likely Sugar Hill probably produces it. And here's a quote from him. He says, "Can you imagine being 18, 19, 20, or 21, having a bunch of money, able to do whatever you want, but not even being able to walk into a movie theater or amusement park?" And that's the thing. Like, LeBron James has handled being a star greatly. Like, I think for young folks moving forward, they should study how LeBron has navigated being a star in his teens, being a high school basketball star at 16 years old, to becoming an international star at 18 years old. And back then, being a Cavs fan and watching this, LeBron always carried himself more mature than his years. Like, there was never any real off the court things at all with LeBron at all. Um, he's been excellent at that. But you tend to forget he was a teenager. Yeah, he was the most famous high school basketball player in the world, playing for St. Vincent-St. Mary's in Akron at 16, 17, 18 years old. But you're high school. So you can still, even though you're a high school kid, you got your boys around you. You can go to the movies, the music park. And most people who maybe didn't know what LeBron really looked at like, because LeBron was getting coverage, but it wasn't like, there was nothing about him that stood out, right? It was just like he could just put on some glasses and a hat and no one probably would pay attention to him. He can still do that in May as he left St. Vincent St. Mary. Things totally changed when we get to November and he became a rookie for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That is a lot of responsibility. And now you're on TV, on TNT, you're on ESPN, you're on all these, you're on ESPN, all these outlets. And now you can't enjoy going to the movies at all without security or a bunch of people around you or people to protect you. You can't go to the amusement park. You can't go to the store. You gotta have people to go to the store for you. And that was a transition for him. Now, eventually, he figured it out. But I don't think people really understand when you're that young how fame can be crushing. Michael Jackson said a long time ago when he was alive, he had that song, "Have You Seen My Childhood?" He talked about not having a childhood. And people are like, "What do you mean? Like, you're famous. Yeah, it sucks, but look at you. You're Michael Jackson. You're internationally known. Everybody loves you." Yeah, but you didn't have a chance to be a kid. And kids like being kids. Even as adults, we've seen adults punch out photographers if they get too close. People complain about the paparazzi, if they invade in their privacy. And these are adults. Can you imagine being 18 years old, having a camera shoved in your face, or being look? Think about your favorite place you used to go to, the favorite place you used to go eat. Let's say you enjoy going to Red Lobster. Let's say you love their biscuits, whatever, and you do that every Friday night when you were a teenager with your friends. And then all of a sudden, you become super famous for something. And now when you go, if you do go, people are asking for your autograph all the time. Or people starting taking pictures. Or people eating their biscuits, holding their phone, taking a picture like this. I hope he doesn't see me. Your privacy is gone. And then he had another quote where he said he had to, by the time by his rookie year, he had the whole franchise on his back. And he carried it really well. The only real miss that LeBron ever had as a Cav is the decision. Because I always felt like, listen, he wanted to do that stuff with the Boys and Girls Club, that's fine. But he should have told the Cavs, listen, I'm not coming back. Because the fans were crushed. We were all crushed. And I'm not one of those people who overnight became a Miami Heat fan. No, I don't do that stuff. I'm a Cavs, Browns, Guardians fan. Now, I might like other teams from afar, but I was not going to desert my Cavs because LeBron left. I was a fan of the Cavs before LeBron. I was a fan of the Cavs at Ron Harper and Brad Daugherty and Mark Price, right? Hot Rod Williams and Larry Nance. I wasn't going to ditch the Cavs just because he went to Miami. If he wanted to go to Miami, that's fine. I always felt like he should have just told the Cavs, I'm leaving. You still could have had the special, could have still donated to the Boys and Girls Club, still would have been surprised because you didn't know where he was going to, especially like Knicks fans who thought he might be going to New York, and Miami fans and all these other teams, which is fine. I just wish he would have gave the Cavs the head up, and then the fans would have got the head up. But that's it. But other than that, LeBron was, he carried these franchises really well. So yeah, I can't imagine being 18 years old and my life is totally, even if, even, I have all this money and all this fame and all this power. You lose a piece of yourself from that. And maybe that's why LeBron wanted Bronny to play with him. Maybe he didn't want Bronny to go through some of the things he went through as a teenager. I don't know. I mean, Bronny's a different dude. Like Bronny's is not as famous as his, I mean, he is kind of famous because of his dad, but he doesn't have the same skill set as his father. And I don't know. Well, right now for Bronny, preseason isn't that good, but it's a long NBA season, so maybe he can turn it around a little bit. But for the most part, Bronny's not LeBron. But the one thing that LeBron did have in his favor was he had Maverick Carter and all those guys with him. He still had his guys from St. Vincent-St. Mary, so they were still kind of around. And he had his family. I always wondered about different people. Let's say someone like Dirk Nowitzki, right? Dirk Nowitzki came from Germany. He didn't know anybody when he went to the Mavs. He was young. Luka, when he came to the Mavericks, came from another country. He was a teen or very young. I mean, he had Dirk with him, but it's not the same. That's not family. So even though LeBron had all these things that took away from his teenage years, he still had a lot of family and friends around him, which made it a lot easier, right? He wasn't like Kevin Garnett or Tracy McGrady, these guys going to different teams, and they had some friends, but not a lot of family. So it's we see this all the time. We don't see this as much now, but it has to be tough whenever you're a teenager because you're in the locker room with grown men. They got wives, mistresses, kids someplace else. They could legally drink alcohol. Like LeBron was 18, he couldn't go to the bars at that age. Like it was a crazy time period where this young man was one of the biggest stars in the world, and he couldn't even drink a beer. It's fascinating. But yeah, Starting Five on Netflix has gotten some mixed reviews. But I think I think one of the good things that might come out of this is that LeBron's being pretty honest because his career is coming to an end. Sooner or later, LeBron will be out of the league. And I think the league's going to be kind of problematic because they went from Jordan to LeBron. And I don't know if any of these guys right now can carry the league on their backs like LeBron has. The league has had about 40 some odd years, from Magic to LeBron, about 40 some odd years of just ambassadors of the game. Magic, Bird, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Shaq, AI. Like, it was a good 40-year stretch here. But I don't know moving forward if these guys that we have right now in the league, I don't know, they're fine, like Ant-Man and Wemby. I don't know if they got the personalities to carry the league like LeBron did. Because LeBron, for LeBron, it was Jordan was his model. I don't, and for these guys, I'm sure LeBron's their model. But I just don't know if the league, especially since they're going streaming, I don't know. I think the league might have some problems moving forward once LeBron leaves. But shout out to LeBron. Check out Netflix, Starting Five. Seems like it's pretty interesting. Shout out to Akron, hometown of LeBron and myself. And yeah, that teenage LeBron popping bubblegum up top, man. He was good. He was really good.